Salam alaikum, everyone. I want to welcome you to another installation of the Zoom In on the Halal Metropolis project. I'm Sally Howell. I'm the director of the Center for Arab American Studies at the University of Michigan, Dearborn. And I'm here today with Abdul Al-Haidous, who is a county commissioner for Wayne County from the western part of the state. He's the former mayor of Wayne, Michigan. Good morning, Mr. Haidous. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. And thank you for asking.
Thank you so much for being here. So, I know, I think many people know that Wayne County is the epicenter of the coronavirus epidemic here in the state of Michigan. People are being affected. One of the first communities to be affected in the county was the sheriff's department and the police department in the city of Detroit. So I'm just wondering how you and your family are doing, and also how you and your colleagues are doing.
Excellent. Well, let me start with the family. Thank God, doing very well. We miss the grandkids a lot. We do a little drive through, we wave through the window, and they do the same thing. They all drive by on the Mother's Day. So we manage, and we take this issue very seriously because, you can't afford to be negligent where they're high risk to the health of the family and the friend and the community. I hope everybody, the message should go out is people should take that issue very seriously because people dying. And we just lost a dear friend. And my deepest sympathy and prayer go to his family. The former state senator, Morris Hood, is a dear friend of mine. In fact, I talked to him before we start this working from home at the office for 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, and he was a young man. I mean, he was in his 50s. He was just like early 50s. It's tragic. And I know, I didn't know him personally, but I'm seeing how much love people are expressing for him on Facebook. People really loved him, and they thought he was just a voice of reason and warmth and humor. And it's very tragic. He's not the first politician we knew. The first person I knew who passed away was Isaac Robinson, who was another.
Yes, it's a friend of mine. So that's why the message should go out is take this issue seriously and be careful to protect yourself, your family, your community. And, we all hope it's a difficult time. We don't know how long it's going to be, but it will pass one day.
Inshallah. Well, how is this affecting your work at the county? Are you, I mean, I know you're not really able to politic in the traditional way because you can't go out and shake hands and really meet with people in their, where they live and their businesses.
And I'm a huggable person, I don't hide my feeling. If I see friend, the family, I love them, I want to hug them, I hug them. Our way of life was something I enjoy. I enjoy living in a country where I'm free to do whatever I like to do, long as it's in the limit of respect, and try to be responsible and respect the other people's feeling and their way of life. So we losing some of those things. It's not going to be the same. It really touched me in the heart to see my grandson, 4 years old. He wanted to hug me, and I walk away a little bit from him. How you can't explain those feelings, but it hits you right in the heart. So,
believe me, I understand. I think we're all in this situation together. That's one thing, we can kind of virtually share a hug because none of us are getting the real hugs. Well, so are you working remotely, or are you still going into the office?
We work from home. I'm equipped with my iPad, and it's a new one the county supply us with. a lot of capability of Zoom, and I have my computer too. Some of my staff working from home too. We get some requests from the people, last few days, we get a lot of people live on a dirt road. It need to be graded because it start to be a little bit rough to drive on it. So I'll forward those to the staff. They forward the request to the public service department. They get a number. They just first come, first serve. And we do in the normal thing we do in the office from home. We have a Zoom meeting for the full Board of Commissioners. We communicate with each other on the phone. And I chair the economic development for Wayne County. I have a meeting yesterday on Zoom, and all the committee members attended. We manage, and the county really, the thing really concerned me is in 2015 when Warren Evans took over, the county was in a bad economic shape and deficit, structural deficit and deficit. And now we got to a point where we have around $150 million rainy fund day.
Wow.
And now this one, it hit us, and those would not last a few months because the revenue, it's going to be shrinking. I don't know if the people are going to pay their property tax in time because it's how the county get the revenue. You have employee, you have a contract with the union, you have a project already in the progress, bridges, road. We have to make tough and painful decisions. And the leadership is good and strong. Been in the difficult financial situation. It's when he started his career as a county CEO. So we have a lot of good, positive point where it gives us a great deal of hope to survive. We've been around the block with this kind of situation. But the problem with this situation at this time, we don't know how long it's going to go. And the longer it gets, the expenditure, it's not getting less, but the revenue is shrinking. But we have to be aware of what's going on and try to make decisions based on what's best for the people we serve.
Well, I mean, I understand that is the uncertainty is what's driving everybody, crazy, because we've got this could be more than a year out before we're really able to resume life in any way normally. And I mean, I work for the university. Our budget, we don't know how much money we're going to get from the state. We don't know how many students are going to enroll in the fall. We don't know if we're going to be online or virtual, or in the classroom. I mean, it's just so much uncertainty. But I'm also curious to hear how the businesses in the county are doing, and what your relationship with the small business community, because it seems that they're one group in particular that's also being really hard hit by this. And I don't know, as the the head of the economic development committee, I don't know if you guys have received CARE funds that you're trying to redistribute or anything like that. What you can do to help the businesses is what I'm asking.
It's a great question. As you know, my background as a small businessman, I know and feel for the small business people who really not getting the business they used to do to keep up with their expenditure, rent, utility, payroll. So jointly with co-sponsor from the county commissioner, the CEO first put some $3 million for a small business loan, and the TCF Bank said, if we process those, we'll match the $3 million.
Wow.
So it's $6 million. But those $6 million have a restriction, is only for low income area, small business loan. So I thought about it, and I decide, and I talk with Commissioner Anderson, I talk with the chair, Alicia Bell. She's an excellent chair. She's doing a wonderful job. And I told her, I'm gonna make a motion to put $2 million from the general fund and see if the TCF match those. It'll be $4 million. It'll be non-restricted restriction on those $4 million. Any area, high income, low income, could apply for those loans. And I discuss it with most of my colleagues, and the chair communicate with everybody. Then I made the motion and was passed with 15 vote to 0. And the TCF Bank agreed to match those.
Wow.
And now we up to almost $16 million. Yesterday in my committee meeting, we have a briefing from the Economic Development Department on how the loan been going. I think there's some area we have a good number of applicants. There's some area very light. The the far end of my district, the western side from Huron, Van Buren, it's not been as much as I thought it would be, but they'll have till end of June to apply.
Okay. I'm sure you're trying to get the word out.
We hope, yes. What I did, I communicate in my district with all the mayor and township supervisor. I send them the information, and I ask them to send the information to their Chamber of Commerce. It's the best way to communicate direct with the business people. And because the loan, it's structure where first 6 months it'll be 0 interest. And then after 6 months for 1 year, it's only 1% interest. And after 1 year, you could pay it off, or you make arrangement with your bank to the bank pay it off, and you be owning the loan to the bank with whatever interest available at that time. The federal loan for the small business, it's the best one.
Because it's no interest, right?
Because you don't have to pay it back.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you use it on employees and stuff like that, you don't have to pay that part back.
If you use it for payroll, employee, utility, you don't have to pay it back, and you don't have to claim that on your income tax. So it's a win-win situation, but is that going to be enough? If we finish with this situation by the end of the year, yes. But if that go beyond that, then
and the problem with the federal loan, my understanding is it's just really covering like a 2-month period, isn't it?
It's not the time; it's the amount of money, because they running out of money because it's a good loan. So county, we extended till end of June. You could apply because we still have some money. So the federal, I think that's, I don't know exactly where they at. If they run out, there was good number of applicants for it all over the country. So it's depend on the economy really. And I hear a lot of media and politician opinions. They want to open the economy. I love to see the everything open back, but I'm very cautious. I don't want to put the life of the community and the people to be compared to the economic situation because we need the factory to open, we need the school to open, but we have to measure how much risk we have on our lives.
Well, I've
The
looked at
human.
I mean, I agree with this. I've looked at the numbers. I mean, we really have flattened the curve. We were approaching 2,000 people a day as new infections here in Michigan, and we, a couple days we exceeded that number, but that was we were sort of seemed to be going up, and then now we're down under 500 people a day of new cases. But we're still between 400 and 500 people a day of new cases. Most of them, as you know,
Right.
or a large percentage of them here in Wayne County. That's more than most states have still. So we flattened the curve. We brought the curve back down again, but the number of new infections is still it's still spreading in our community. And I totally agree with you. I'm really nervous that the governor will lift the stay-at-home order at the end of the month. And to me, I think that's too early. It's like we're doing this for a reason. We're doing this to bring those numbers down so that we can feel safe again to go out and about. And I mean, the insecurity, and I've also talked to several small business owners who were doing well, who were growing, people who had just put a lot of made major investments in their businesses. And, like one person is about to franchise his company, and he spent, hundreds of thousands of dollars upfitting these new stores and everything like that. And he hasn't even been, his businesses haven't been inspected by the city yet. So they're not open. And he has no reserve funds, right? So it's stories like that I mean, it's just it's very much it's what I call a white knuckle ride. People are just they're gripping the steering wheel, really afraid. So yeah, these loans are a help, but it's almost hard to apply for one of these loans, given that some businesses really might be losing confidence in the fact that in 6 months or a year they'll be in a position to come back again. I mean, it's sort of like everybody needs. It's almost like we just need to freeze the economy for 6 months, but obviously we can't do that. So I don't know what the solution is to this. And I mean, I'm not expecting you to have one, but it's very frightening.
Well, the most important thing is the solution to our problem could be tougher as the time go, could be easier, depend on the how many people get infected. And what scared me yesterday, I was watching the news, in some area the children start to have the virus. And now my concern is to open the school when you see that start hitting the young generation. That's why I really like to see more careful decision, and some decision be decided by scientists, by experts on the health, not by politicians. It's not a political issue. It's time to put the politics at the side and try to see what's going to get us to the safe area, to where we stop people from dying and get infected and get very ill. And so that's why I really hope we listen to the advice of the expert and try to abide by the rule. If we respect the distance, put the mask, you need to have a gloves, whatever it takes to survive, we need to do that. We've been, our great nation been through a lot of difficult time in many different ways, through war, through different viruses, the flu. We are a nation who really deal with difficulty and survive. And I hope this situation is no different than any other. But we need to work together and stop fighting each other, focus on our invisible enemy.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's beautifully put. That's beautifully put. Well, one thing that concerns me is I'm hearing from my students in Dearborn that as Ramadan goes on, that people they're relaxing a little bit. They were at the beginning of the month, they were good about staying home and not mingling, but slowly as the weather gets nicer and people are just having one student told me that she went to a party that was supposed to be a graduation party, and where the students drove by each other in their cars and they kind of honked and waved, and maybe they got out of the car and said a few words, but they stayed distant. She said that she went to one of these and all of her friends were like standing together in a group, like laughing and having fun and celebrating and jumping up and down and basically hugging each other. And she said she just rolled up her window and honked and kept going. But she was very worried. And she even said that she knew that one of her friends has a parent who is home with the virus. So, I mean, that's part of why she was so upset. So I'm just hearing that it's getting harder. And I know that when the weather, I'm looking out the window right now at a beautiful sunny day, and it's supposed to be in the 60s. So it's nice weather today. And I just know that it's going to get harder and harder for people. This is not in our nature to stay apart from one another in this way. So anyway, I'm just a little bit worried, but I think for so many of us know people personally who've been affected, and we're seeing how serious this is affecting the institutions or the communities we're a part of. And I'm like you. I hope that more people can take it seriously. Well, we're actually out of time here, so I want to thank you for talking with us. I thank you so much for the work you're doing for the county. It sounds like we're in very good hands. And I also want to wish you a happy Ramadan.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that, and I really enjoy talking to you. You look like a person with general knowledge, and the conversation was good. I wish we have more time to brief you more on the county, but we'll survive. The bottom line, it's a tough, difficult, a lot of painful decision. But if we focus on what's good for our people, the people who we work for, or the people who elected us and trusted us to make an important decision that affect their life, so then we be reaching our goal in life and what's our purpose. And I want to thank you for, first of all, for giving me this opportunity to maybe through you, I get the message to a few people who's gonna see this one, is to take this one seriously, be safe, and God bless you all.
Thank you.